Today, Kuppy, you and I want to start an EV company. We don't need to wait for government approval to start our EV company. We can be number 131 producing EVs. We want to start an airline. We can be airline number, like last I checked, there was like 61 airlines in China. So we can be airline number 62. There's, I would argue that in most fields in China today, you get a lot more competition than in the United States. And you also get a lot more bankruptcies. For all the talk about, central control, when was the last big US bankruptcy? Yeah, obviously you could say Lehman, that was in 2008. And I think since then we've decided that, bankruptcies are not allowed. And if ever companies are going to be close to being bankrupt, they're going to put interest rates at zero, and we're going to send everybody a check.
There's still a good amount of central planning,
Oh, for sure. No, look, because you still needed to put in place a lot of infrastructure that was, if you want to be a world-class economy, you do need to have a proper electricity grid. You do need to have, motorways and railroads and, all that stuff. Yeah, it's, like everything linked to infrastructure. Yeah, I'm as big a free market guy as there is, but we have to acknowledge that when it comes to infrastructure, sometimes you need government help. Because
you don't think the Puerto Rican dirt roads with with chickens and goats crossing the street isn't the right way forward? Come on. We have potholes here that'll bury my truck.
So there you go. I guess that. So it is centrally planned, but I think a lot of people have, and this goes back to the underestimation that we have, the constant underestimation that we have of China, because it's got communism in its name. So first of all, I firmly believe that we Westerners have a tendency to underestimate Asians. The Russians underestimated the Japanese in 1905. We underestimated them pre-World War II. The Brits had the guns facing the wrong way in Singapore. We French. We underestimated them in Vietnam. Then the Americans underestimated them in Vietnam. So we have a long history of underestimating the resiliency of most Asian cultures. Number one, and number two, I think that's compounded by the fact that they're communist, and so we assume that because they're communist, they're going to be like the Soviet Union and collapse in a pile of inefficiencies. And then we turn around and you pick up your Wall Street Journal and you've got the Ford CEO who says, we're going to struggle to produce not at the price of the Chinese, but at the quality of the Chinese. And he gives an interview where he says, I shipped a Xiaomi car. That's Xiaomi SUV, and that's what I drive to work, and it's the best car I own, and I don't want to drive anything else. This is the Ford CEO. And he says, wow, I hadn't visited China in 5 years, and that just blew my mind. So I think the whole, they're centrally planned, so therefore they're not going to do well. We're actually, and which is a line that you keep getting in the Western media, and it's a line that is selling ourselves for it because it doesn't correspond to the reality on the ground.